and speak to us about sustainability and careers specifically in sustainability. My name is Mary Vance. I'm a career counselor here at Portland State, and I meet routinely with students who come in and say, I want to work in sustainability. And I say, what does that mean to you? And they say, I'm not sure. And I think that's true for probably a lot of you in the audience. I know when I first started thinking about sustainability, I realized that in fact it means so many different things. And so, one of our goals for today is that you get to kind of have a sampler of some of the different ways that sustainability can define itself, and have the opportunity to hear from people who make their living working in sustainability. So we have Will Villota, who is the brand manager at Bonneville Environmental Foundation. And let's see, then we have Roger Cole, who is the manager of sustainable operations right here up at OHSU. And Dave Barmon, who is the owner and founder of Fiddlehead Landscape Design and Installation. And Heather Spalding, who is the Sustainability Leadership and Outreach Coordinator at PSU. And what we'll do is each of them will speak for around 5 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions from the audience. Thanks again.
Should we just start from this side?
Yeah.
You started talking first, so.
Okay. So,
We'll start from the left, right? Left is good.
my name's Will Villota, and like you heard, I'm the brand manager at Bonneville Environmental Foundation. I've been there for about a year, before which I was probably really likely to be sitting where you're sitting, because I spent most of my career in the for-profit sector working as a marketing manager, mostly for mostly big companies like Adidas and Yahoo, and found that very challenging and wonderful for a long time. But after about maybe 15 years of doing that, I felt with everything that's going on in the world and kind of revisiting my own personal values, I felt that it was that I wanted to kind of get out of for-profit and do something that had some social value. I mean, I was basically selling shoes or selling websites, and that just left me at the end of the day feeling a lack of purpose. And I took a leap of faith in the end. An opportunity came up after a lot of networking, a lot of things that I'm sure we're all going to talk about today. But an opportunity came up at Sequential Biofuels to do a project, and it didn't pay very much, and it was only half time. And I left, my very well-paid job in the for-profit sector and pieced together that project, which clearly was where I wanted to take my career in sustainability, with a couple of other projects for startups, more traditional kind of for-profit startups. So that ended up leading to a project at BEF, and ultimately I did contract work for a few months and ultimately was hired full-time. And I've been there about a year and really feel really happy. And I guess the advice in one line that I would give all of you is just be patient and keep at it, because it took me 3 years, and that might even be on the short side of things in some cases, especially with the economy right now, so keep at it.
It took me a lot longer than that. So my name is Roger Cole. I'm with the Oregon Health and Science University. I'm the manager of sustainable operations up there. So I arrived at I'm sorry?
Can you speak up?
Yeah, sure. I can. Softer voice guy. So I arrived at sustainability through kind of the natural sciences. I have a couple of bachelor's degrees. One is in agronomy, and the other one is entomology, which is the study of insects. So you might be thinking, gee, how does that relate to the green building or putting together a recycling program? In some ways it doesn't, but I think a lot of ways it does. It helps me understand sustainability in general and the networks that go into that. It's kind of a natural system, and that's what it's built on, and that's what my passion is. And I'm pretty heavily involved with the Natural Stat Network, and really believe that that's a really good framework to build a system on. So I received my degrees. I worked in various industries. I worked in the pest control industry, the other green industry, which is the landscaping industry. Found myself at the Parks Bureau, where I got involved in stormwater facilities and constructing those. And then that really piqued my interest, and I then got a job with a civil engineering firm. and started doing some working with designers and doing a little bit of design myself. Became lead accredited professional, which kind of kicked off a whole new world for me. And then the opportunity opened up at OHSU for a sustainability manager up there, and I had networked and used my contacts to talk about my skills and show them that I had the knowledge to progress their efforts. So it's kind of my career arc.
My name is David Barmon, and I am a landscape contractor here in Portland. The name of my company is Fiddlehead. A little background about myself: I'm actually native of Oregon. I grew up in Hillsboro. Actually attended school here at PSU. I studied Japanese and biology in school. I did not finish my degree, so I'm kind of a little bit different than a lot of people. I think they kind of go for an advanced degree before they kind of get into the nonprofit world. So I got into the airline business. I was a Japanese qualified flight attendant for United Airlines for 8 years. I was laid off right after 9/11. I was in one of the planes the week before that was hijacked. I started thinking a lot about why that happened. I got very interested in politics. I visited sweatshops in the Philippines. There's that book called No Logo by Naomi Klein. She wrote about the Community Economic Zone, and I went there on my own. Actually, I consulted with a professor here at PSU, Mel Bertog. He's a great guy, so if anybody has any international studies classes, I encourage you to look him up. I was really unhappy with where I was at United. I just felt like it was a large company, and I wasn't doing as much good as I thought it could. So I got really interested in permaculture design, which is kind of whole systems design, thinking it kind of revolves a lot around like biological systems. I got a job working for not very much money for a landscape contractor, doing just basic labor, picking soil, digging, just a lot of hard, heavy work, doing stone work, hardscapes, and then that's where I met my business partner, and we worked together for a year and then decided to start our own business, get a license, start our own company, which I really enjoy being self-employed. It's not for everybody. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not like you just show up and you do your job and you leave. You have to think about all aspects of everything in order to be successful. That's why I think a lot of businesses don't do very well, because they're not really good on the planning side of things. So recently, in the last year, we've been in business a few years. I've been really lucky. I've studied really hard, worked really, 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 really hard, much harder than anybody I know. And I think that's the key. Anybody here is going to tell you that you have to get up at 6 in the morning. You have to work extra hard if you want to do well. And that's at anything. I don't think it matters what your career choice is. And I study. I try and read at least an hour every night. I read, papers. I follow up on global events, local events. And we've been really lucky. We wrote a feasibility study for the Multnomah County Crops Program, which we're growing food to donate to the food bank out across from McMiniman's Edgefield. We did we were hired as consultants to work on the Cyan, which is a green building down the street here. We designed a food garden in the courtyard. We might have some other opportunities that I can't really talk about at this time. But and in the day-to-day operation, I'm still picking soil. I was doing heavy equipment work right before I got here. My business partner and I have retained somebody, and we started strategic planning. We're starting a nonprofit. Hopefully we'll have our name and our 1023 filed in the next month or two. And so that's much even more complicated, because you're building a real organization. And there's a lot of things that go into that, so I can talk more